Hey guys, so I know it's been a while. It's been a while since I put up a video and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get back into it. So yeah. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna tell y'all about this book. Like, oh my god, you guys have to read this book, or I just want to talk about this book, and I'm gonna tell y'all about this book for those who don't read books. And I'm going to be doing my makeup at the same time. Everything that I put on my face will be in the description box. So, if you have any questions or anything, all the answers will be in the description box. But anyways, let's get into this book. Like, oh my god. This is called The Silent Patient. It is by Alex. It's like Michael, but then Michaelides. I don't know. But I read this book. It was the first book that this person has written, and I was like, whoa, it's a good ass story. Like, I have to tell you about it. But yeah, I haven't read a book in a long time. I'm just now getting back into reading books. I used to read books when I was a teenager. I would read the R.L. Stein books. I would read I think that's how it all started. It was first the Goosebumps, but then as I got older, I got out of the Goosebumps, and oh no, actually it was my mom. My mom, I think she went to like a flea market or something. I don't know. So I was reading the Goosebumps by R.L. Stein and stuff, and I kind of liked it. And then my mom, she knew I liked R.L. Stein books. So I think she went to like a flea market or like a yard sale, and there was a person selling a whole collection of books. It was the Fear Street ones, and it was like, I guess kind of like Goosebumps, but like for teenagers and stuff. They had like killing and stuff in it, murder happening in it, stuff like that. And so that's how I got into that. And okay, so it was the Fear Street books, and by Earl Stein also. So when I was a teenager, I would read those. I loved those, but then I became a mom and stuff, so I was like, ugh, I couldn't do reading. I couldn't get into it. It just lost out of it. But now that all my kids are in school, so it's like, I'm home alone. Let me find something to do. I'm tired of, watching YouTube, being on the TV, being on my phone. Like, I'm tired of all that. So then I remembered that, oh my God, like, I used to read. So then I was like, you know what? Like, let me get back into that. So I got this book. Oh, I actually found this book on Instagram. On Instagram, I follow this girl. She reads books. She gives reviews on them. She tells you, like, oh my God, you have to read it. She tells you, like, she gives you, like, a little description on what it was about. And so she posted on there. Oh, I don't even know her. When I find her, I will post her in the link just in case if you want to check her out, because I guess she is a big book reader, or yeah, a big book reader. And so she reads a lot of books, so she lets you know, hey, you better go check out this book. She gives reviews and stuff like that, so pretty cool. But anyways, so that's how I found out about this book. And so I got out the library. Oh my God, I was so excited to read this book. Now let me tell you about this book. Oh my God. So husband's name is Gabriel. Okay, so the husband's name is Gabriel. He is a fashion photographer, and the wife is Alicia, and she is a painter. So, they're married, they're young, I'm guessing, because they don't have no kids yet. And so, but they've been married for a while and stuff. So, okay, they fall in love, they're married, whatever. So, the setting is that the husband comes home, and then all of a sudden, the neighbor hears gunshots. So then the neighbor calls the police to come. Like, there's been gunshots fired and stuff. So then the police go. When they walk in, they see that the husband is tied up to a chair, and he is shot in the face 5 times in the face. And they see the gun on the floor. Then they see the wife standing there. And the wife has a knife beside her, and she has slit both of her wrists. So, obviously this is it. Her fingerprints were also on the gun. So then they get her, they arrest her. Oh, excuse me. She is convicted of murder, and she goes, she's convicted of his murder. The crazy thing is, she does not speak. Now, she was a normal person. She was a normal person before, but When they went in, when they found her, when they went to go get her, when they arrested her, all of that, she hasn't spoke. No one knows why she hasn't spoke, but she just hasn't spoken. So, you know, it's obviously an open shut case. She was there. The what's it called? The murder weapon was there. Her prints were on it. So it's open shut case. She did it. So she's convicted of the murder and stuff. But since she's not speaking at all, like she doesn't speak at all, not even to defend herself, not even to explain herself, not even like, oh no, I didn't do it, this is what happened, I'm innocent, nothing. So they convicted her, and then well, obviously they think she's crazy, something's wrong with her, something happened for her to all of a sudden go mute. So then they put her into a hospital, I guess kind of like a mental hospital and stuff, because now they're thinking like, oh, she has lost it. They don't know what happened to her, but for some reason she has lost it, and now she's not speaking, she's not right anymore. So they put her in there. Then there is this therapist, Theo. His name is Theo, and he hears about her. He finds her case fascinating and stuff. Now he also does have a background. He was I think he was a lonely child. He grew up with his mother and his father. His father was very abusive, and the mother, she was, I don't know, it doesn't say much. It just makes you feel sorry for the mother, because it's like, what can she do? She's just in this relationship with her husband, and the husband is very abusive towards her and the son, emotionally abusive and stuff. I guess he was also an alcoholic, but, very emotional abuse going on in his childhood and stuff with his father. So, and he says in there that's why it made him want to be a therapist, to help people going through that and stuff, which I thought was, like, okay, that's cool, that's nice, I guess. He's broken, and I guess therapy helped him, so now he wants to do the same. So now he is also married. Theo is also married to this woman. Oh, I forgot her name. I think her name is like, no, it's not Karen. I forget her name. But he is married to her. I think Katie. I want to say her name is Katie. I forget. But he is married to her. And, he's very much in love with his wife. He loves his wife with all of his heart, everything. It is so sweet how he talks about her in this book, and the way that, he says that she makes him feel and stuff. It is just so beautiful. So sweet. But anyways, so yeah, so he loves her and stuff like that. And okay, so he hears about Alicia, and he's like, I want to help her, I want to go and help Alicia. So then he goes and tries to be the therapist at the therapist at the hospital that she's in, which he got in very easily and stuff like that. So look at my shoot up, my freaking dog. But anyway, so let me get another one. I like the Becky G light mirror better. I don't know, I just feel like it's so much nicer, and I love that it can detach. I love that. So anyway, so he goes in there, and he is, okay, so he applies to be a therapist there. They take him and stuff, but they're like, sure, why not? He thought it was going to be a hassle, because it's like, Alicia's famous. Alicia became famous because, she was a famous painter. Oh, I'm skipping ahead. Okay, so after the murder happened, she did do a painting, and it was a painting of her at an easel. I think this was called. And she's painting, but on the paint there's dripping red. They don't know if it's blood or if it's paint, and it's just her back, and she's naked. And the name of the painting is Alcestis. It's a Greek myth. I know I'm saying it wrong. I will have it in the description box, the name of it, or I'll put it somewhere on the screen of how it's spelled. I don't know how it's supposed to be, but I guess that's the name of the painting that she did. And what is it? If you don't know what that is, apparently it's a Greek myth that there was this god I guess he was a god, I don't know, this guy, and for some reason he was put, damned to hell, I forget why. I forget why. But anyways, so instead, he didn't want to, of course, he didn't want to go to hell. So he was like, can someone take my place? Someone take my place to go to hell for me. His parents didn't want to do it for him. Like, nobody wanted to do it for him. But his wife did. His wife was like, sure, I'll do it for you. Like, I will do that for him. So he was like, okay, great. So his wife went to hell for him, but she was saved by Hercules. And when Hercules saved her, she was mute. She was mute ever since then. So that's what she named the painting of. And it was, of course, a very famous painting, because it was after her husband's murder and stuff, and then now she's mute and stuff. So it was a very, very famous painting that it was in this art gallery. So now the therapist, since she's mute and stuff, he sees her, she's all drugged up, and he's like, I want to help her. I want to do a therapy session with her one-on-one. They're like, okay, fine, that's cool. If you think it'll help. Now since she's a famous patient in there, now this hospital is shutting down. It is not the best hospital, I guess. Now this is like a couple years after the murder. This is like 7 years. So the hype of Alicia kind of died down and stuff. But yeah, the hospital is dying. The hospital is like, they're about to shut down soon. So they're like, yeah, sure. Like the hospital, they kind of wanted him to see if he would get her to speak at some point, because they're like, oh, if he gets her to speak, then the hospital will, oh my God, we finally did it. We got her to speak, and the hospital will be on the map again. The hospital can be saved. So that's what they did. That's what they were hoping for. So they did let Theo, do basically whatever he wanted to try to help her. So he tried to do one-on-one therapy with her. The first time that he ever tried to do it with her, she attacked him. Like, she full on animal attacked him. She went to him. I think she even grabbed his head and tried to bang it on the ground or something, or against the wall, like something like that. But yeah, she tried to attack him. And so, like, so many things. Okay, so now they're trying to get to what is her motive of murdering her husband. That's the thing that they don't know. So, they're saying that oh, she committed murder of her husband, but what was the reason for it? So, oh my God. So she has a brother-in-law, because she's a lonely child. She doesn't have any siblings or anything, but she does have a brother-in-law. So the brother-in-law is who hired the lawyer for her and stuff, and which was odd because it was kind of made it seem like the brother-in-law was trying to help her, which is odd because it's like, she just killed your brother. Why would you help her? So anyways, he's like, oh, the therapist Theo went to go talk to him about Alicia. He's like, oh, I hate her. I can't stand her. She was just a spoiled brat. My brother, did everything for her, but she was just a spoiled brat. And come to find out, Alicia had a diary. And in her diary, she wrote that her brother-in-law tried to make a pass at her. Like, he kissed her, he grabbed her, kissed her. Like, he was madly in love with her. But she was like, I'm gonna tell your brother. And he was like, you better not tell him. Like, I don't know if they're like really, really close and they look up to each other. Like, they're really, really close siblings and stuff. He's like, you better not. You're gonna ruin everything between us. So, she's kind of stuck. She don't know what to do. And not only that, but come to find out, so Alicia's father died, and I guess he had money. She had a very, very, very big chunk of money from her father. So when her husband died, he didn't even put her in the will. When her husband died, he didn't get nothing. All of his money went to his brother. Like, that is so weird. I thought that shit was weird. So now I'm thinking like, oh, the brother might have had something to do with it, because even though, like, the Gabriel, he was the very popular brother, everyone loved him, he was the cute one, everyone, like, he was the more successful one. And then the brother was like, just the brother, he was just very plain Jane, nothing special about him. So it kind of makes you feel like, oh, he was jealous of him and he somehow I didn't think he did it himself, but it seemed like he had, hired someone to kill his brother or something, and now he got all this money, which that's what I thought. I was like, yep, it's him. But okay, so go along in the story. So no, it wasn't him. It was just that, he didn't murder his brother. Him and his brother were really close and stuff, but he was just madly in love with his sister-in-law Alicia. But she was like, no, that's gross. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. No. Now, Alicia, she loved her husband. She was madly in love with her husband. And, so she was madly in love with her husband and stuff. So, no. And then it showed, then you meet, who do you meet? Then you meet another friend of hers, and they went to college together, and then when they first left college, they were both house painters. And then she started doing her paintings, and then she started getting known for her paintings. So, her and this friend, I forget his name, but her and this friend, he was like, you know what, the painting's not for me, good for her, it's really going good and well for her. So he got a studio, and so she would paint and put her paintings in the studio. So, they kind of helped each other out with that, which was nice. But come to find out, he was also crushing on her too. Like, he had a crush on her, and I was like, damn, girl, like, everyone that you meet in your life, like, wants you. Like, this guys and girls just can't be friends, I guess, because, like, every guy that she tries to be friends with or try to be nice to or whatever, it's like they want her, but she don't want them. It's like, leave the girl alone. But anyway, so he apparently had a big crush on her too. And so, he would go to her and like, hey, I have, space when you're going to put a new painting. Because, she was obviously keeping him in business and stuff like that, keeping the crowds coming. And even when she went to the hospital, he has her paintings in the studio. The one that she did after her husband died, she had another one and then another one. Oh, so she did this one painting where it was like Jesus died on the cross, but it was her husband. Like, instead of Jesus's face, it was her husband's face. And I think it said that there was even a hatchet there or something. I don't remember, but there was some type of weapon also in the photo, which I thought was weird. It was like, okay, like, that's just weird. I don't know. I don't have an artist's eye and, like, probably see what they see, so I don't know. But then she did also have another painting, which was funny. I forgot to tell you, Alicia, her parents died in a car crash. No, actually, her mother died in a car crash. And so she went to go live with her aunt and her father. I think her father lived there. I don't know. But apparently her father was like also emotional abuser. He didn't really he blamed her for the death. They were in a car crash. Both her and her mother were in a car crash, and her mother died, but she survived. And so she did do a painting of the car crash and her mother in it and stuff, which was, kind of sad and also a little bit disturbing. But also, she wasn't in the photo though. She didn't paint herself in the picture. So anyways, she that happened. And her father once said that, oh, it should have been you that died, not your mother. Like, yeah, it was bad. So anyways, so she's living with her aunt. So she had a photo of that. She had a photo of the Jesus dying. And she also made a painting of her aunt. I guess her and her aunt just didn't get along. Her and her aunt were just like, fighting like cats and dogs. And so she did do a painting of her aunt, which is funny because it was like, I guess she was a very big, obese woman, and she was very mean to Alicia, and I guess Alicia hated her. So Alicia painted this picture of her either sitting on a sofa or sitting on a bed, something like that. And it was like she was naked, and her just fat skin is just like spilling off the bed. I think that's how I described it. And it was like, whoa, like I can't even imagine what this painting looks like, but just the description of it and stuff, it was like, what? So I thought it was funny. But yeah, so those are the paintings that she has painted and that her friend has in the studio and stuff. But so it kind of makes you feel, yeah, like, so he was very like, oh, I want to be with her, I want to be with her, like, oh, always like being in her face, oh, but we're best friends, we're best friends. And to her it's like, we're not really best friends. Like, we did have our time, but now it's like, I'm just not feeling anymore. I just don't feel like we're really good friends and none of that. But she kind of feels like he's not a very good um how to say it, not like a really good friend. And honestly, she thinks that, obviously she knows that he wants her, and she feels like he is just waiting for her to leave her husband to be with her, basically. But she's like, that's not gonna happen. Like, me and my husband are happy, we're good, you know, I love my husband. And no. So then um so then it kind of makes you think it was him that might have did it, because it's like, oh, he loved her, but maybe she rejected him, and that's why, like, he don't want her. But nope, that's not, he didn't do it. No. So then it goes to, okay, so now there is a doctor in the hospital, and he is the doctor who medicates the patients there. Now, when Theo first met Alicia, she was highly medicated, highly dosed up. Like, she was doped up, and she couldn't, like, she would just sit there, and it said, like, she would drool, and, like, it was nasty. So then he asked to lower down her dosage and stuff like that. Well, so she was having a meltdown. She was saying that she was seeing a man. She told her husband that she was seeing a man, like, I guess kind of stalking her, I don't know, but she would see a man just standing outside of the house on several occasions, on sometimes even multiple times a day. And so she told her husband about it, and her husband's like, you're just going crazy. Like, apparently she has a history. And he told her, like, is this like the time when we lived here? So when they lived in a different place, she was also paranoid there. She said that the neighbor was stalking them, the neighbor was doing this and that. Come to find out, the neighbor was blind. So that was, crazy. So now the husband is like, are you sure it's not like you're tripping out again and stuff? Because apparently after her father died, she tried to commit suicide. And so he thinks like, oh my God, she's having like a mental breakdown or something like that. So then he takes her to a therapist, a friend of his, actually. It's a friend that he used to go to school with, like, he knows him, or just a friend, I don't know, just a friend. So then he took her to him, and he diagnosed her with some, he gave her some medications and stuff. And so she was supposed to be taking these medications, which she didn't. But come to find out, that therapist or doctor that she went to go see was the same doctor that was in the hospital, and he, like I said, was in charge of the drugs and stuff. So the therapist, Theo, he was like, is that why he keeps her so drugged up? Is because he has something to do with it, and like, he's trying to keep her quiet, which I was like, oh, yes, like, he somehow has something to do with the murder, because he knew him. I don't know what happened, but what happened that, I thought he had something to do with it. But anyway, so I thought that's why he kept her drugged up, so that she won't say nothing. But no, he's not the killer. But apparently the reason that he didn't, well, I mean, I don't think he purposely drugged her so that she wouldn't talk, but when he treated her, he wasn't a therapist, and he was just doing something for a friend. He wasn't a therapist. Like, yeah, so he wasn't a therapist, but he posed as a therapist to help out the husband, because the husband's like, hey, can you please just prescribe something to my wife, just help my wife. So it's like, okay, like, we'll make it seem like I'm a therapist. She'll come down here to me, I'll talk to her, and then I'll prescribe her something. But he was scared when he first saw Alicia in that hospital, because he's like, oh shit, I hope she don't say nothing, because I could lose my license, I could lose my job, like, I could lose everything, because that wasn't what I was supposed to do. But so yeah, so that was that little info was in there. But no, he is not the killer. So, okay, he's not the killer. And then, so, okay, back to the therapist. The therapist has talked to everybody and all that. And then the therapist, he, Alicia, he talks to the, okay, so back to, he's trying to help Alicia. So, you know, he's trying to do different things to talk to Alicia. He gets her painting again. He does one-on-one therapy with her. He tries to get her painting again. He lowered down her dosage on the medicine so she can think clearly and not be so drugged up. And you know, he finally did it. He got her talking, and she told him what happened. She told him what happened of the night of the murder. So she told him that she noticed a man. She noticed the man was, you know, several occasions she would see this man like standing outside her house just looking at the house. So she was like, okay, that's creepy, that's scary. She told her neighbor. Oh my god, I forgot about the neighbor. So they did, it's not really not that important, but Theo did question the neighbor who called the cops on her, who called the cops for hearing the gunshots and stuff, and the neighbor was just chitty chatter, like a chatterbox. She would not shut up for anything, but she tried to make it seem like her and Alicia were like best friends, like, oh my god, she would tell me everything, but honestly that wasn't the story. And okay, so back to this. So she was saying that Alicia said that she noticed this person standing outside of her house and it was creepy. She told her husband about it, she told the neighbor about it, but they all made her seem like, oh, it was nothing, oh, it was just your imagination, oh, you're just crazy, oh, blah blah blah. So she's like, you know what, she's on her own now, and she's like, I know I'm not crazy, I know what I'm seeing and hearing and all this, so like whatever. So then she says that she sees a man standing outside of her house, and only she sees him, only, you know, like I said, no one believes her. So honestly, she's kind of stuck. She doesn't know what to do. So then she said that the day of the murder, one day, she goes in her garage and she's painting. And so she's in her garage, she's painting, and she said that she looks up, and I guess in the reflection of a mirror or something, she sees the killer standing behind her. So that's it. So the killer is there. He takes her, puts her, you know, takes her into the house. He oh, they have a gun in the house. Apparently Gabriel had a gun and Alicia didn't like it, and Alicia, I guess, she didn't like the gun and stuff. She didn't want the gun in the house. Her and Gabriel had fought about this gun and stuff. But since she started seeing the man, she took the gun, hid it in the kitchen. You know, now she feels safe with a gun. So, what was it? The killer takes her into the house. Somehow the killer knew where the gun is, found the gun. So the killer has the gun. He ties her up in the chair and stuff. Now this is Gabriel's gun, her husband's gun. So he takes her, throws her into the chair, ties her up, and then they're waiting for Gabriel. They're waiting for the husband to come home. So then finally the husband comes home. The house is pitch black. As soon as the husband comes home, bam, he knocks him out with the gun. So then he gets him in a chair and he ties his body up also into the chair. So while Gabriel was in the, so okay, now Gabriel's in the chair too. But even though they're in the chair, they're both in the chair, they're facing opposite ways, so they don't see each other. They're in the same room, but they just can't see each other. So finally, Gabriel wakes up unconscious, out of the, you know, he's conscious again. He wakes up, and the killer tells him, like, oh, wait, this ain't working. Okay. So then it's finally, why is the killer doing this? What is he planning? Finally. So finally, I just don't know how I want to color this. Okay. So finally, when Gabriel wakes up, the killer finally says, he tells the wife, your husband has been cheating on you with my wife. And it's like, holy shit. So that's why the killer is there. Because of Gabriel. So the wife is like, oh my God, like, you know, this is crazy that she's hearing this. So then the killer gives Gabriel a choice. He says, you can either save your wife or save yourself. He's like, I'm going to give you to the count of 10. Okay, so he's like, I'm going to give you to the count of 10. And all you have to do is just tell your wife you love her. That's it. So 10, 9. And you hear Alicia. Gabriel, I love you. 8, 7. Gabriel, I love you. Nothing. Gabriel, tell me you love me. Tell me you love me. Nothing. So then the killer. Okay. So then the killer goes to. Then the killer bends down and he tells Elisa, shh, be quiet. So once he reaches to 1, boom, he shoots up into the ceiling. But Gabriel doesn't know because he, you know, they're not facing each other, but he can hear it. So as soon as he, boom, shoots up in the ceiling, Gabriel doesn't know. Gabriel is crying, Alicia, Alicia, what did you do to her? Like, now you want to say something? But anyway, so he's like, Alicia, Alicia. And, you know, oh my God, what'd you do to Alicia? Whatever. So then, while Gabriel's crying for his wife, now he's saying something. The killer, he goes, and so then the killer, after he, you know, faked that he killed the wife, he tells the wife, be quiet. Like, shh, you know, oh yeah, he did that before he shot the air. Okay, anyways. So now the husband is freaking out. Alicia, Alicia. He thinks that his wife is dead. And the killer, he releases Alicia. He unties her. He throws the gun on the floor. And then he unties Alicia. So he unties Alicia. And then he left. He just walked out. And Alicia, I guess she's the one. So, you know, obviously she's heartbroken. Obviously it's like, whoa, because he couldn't even tell her he loved her, not even to save her life. That's sad. So now she's alone with her husband. He's already tied up and there is a gun. So I guess she did shoot her husband. But, okay, so I guess, you know, obviously she did shoot her husband. And after that, she tried to commit suicide and stuff like that. And I guess, oh, and it was so funny because it was like, even though the killer untied her and left, she didn't speak because it said that dead people don't talk. Dead people don't speak. So I was like, oh shit. Okay, so anyways, that's not even the crazy part. That's not even the crazy part. So to find out, the therapist is the killer. Yes. 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 Crazy. So to the therapist, he has a wife. He loves her dearly, so dearly. But then he realized that it all started that he was high in his house alone. And he knocked over his wife's computer, laptop, and then the emails popped up. So he read it and he saw the emails. And in the emails, obviously she was cheating on him. She was messaging her lover. Oh, when are we going to see each other? She leaves her lover. There was even one message where she left her lover, like going back to her home, to her husband and stuff. And she was like, what did she say in it? She was like, oh, I can still smell you on me. I feel such like a slut. I'm like, oh my God. So that was funny. But yeah, so he read that. And then he's like, I don't know if I read that. He's like, did I actually read that? Because I was high, you know? So he wasn't even sure. But he's like, no, I'm pretty sure that was real. So now he doesn't even know what to do. He loves her, loves her, loves her. And he doesn't even know what to do. So he's like, should he confront her? Should he not, like, just act like nothing happened? Like, he doesn't even know what to do. So he doesn't confront her. He just leaves it. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to the park. I'm going to go here. You know, after work, we're going to do this. Like, I'm going to be late. So late. Apparently she's an actress and stuff. So he was like, you know what? Okay. So she told him, I'm going to go for a run. So she goes for a run and she meets with her lover in the park. And they go into the woods and they have sex. And they do this multiple times, and he follows her, like he follows her and all that. And then one day he wanted to know, who is this man? So he follows the man to his house, and so he finds himself just watching. Like, he'll just watch the house, and one day he was watching the house to see when Gabriel would leave, and then he would just go up to the house and watch it. And so it was Theo. It was Theo watching Alicia. And she didn't know. And then Theo, I don't know, I guess he wanted revenge. Like, he was so angry that this man was cheating on his wife and that his wife might possibly leave him for this man, that he was like, I'm gonna murder this man. He is so pissed that he's going to murder him. So, and then it's like, oh, so that's the main reason, I'm guessing that's the main reason why he wanted to be the therapist and be there with Alicia and try to see if he can get her to talk, because he wants to know, does she know? Because the therapist, when he was the killer and stuff, he was disguise. He had like a ski mask on and stuff. So it's like, oh, she can't know it's me. She can't possibly know it's me and stuff. But she did know. She knew because of his eyes. She recognized his eyes and also his voice. So the first day when she attacked him, that was why she attacked him, because she already knew who he was. But you know, she was like, oh, he wants to play this little game. Okay, let's play this little game. So then that's not where the story ends. That's not how the story ends. I mean, the ending of the story is different, but basically he gets caught because Alicia writes down everything in her diary. The people, they found what's in her diary, the workers and stuff and the hospital, they find her diary. So they're like, okay, you know, they read the diary, so like, oh, this is what really happened. So then they go find Theo. Oh, and also his wife, he is still with his wife. Like, he hasn't said anything to his wife, but ever since the murder of her lover, she has been just depressed. She is so depressed. She doesn't feel like going to work. She doesn't feel like doing anything. And Theo, he was like, you know, I killed him because I was scared of losing my wife. He's like, but I lost her either way, because, you know, obviously she's devastated that this man is dead. But she hasn't, you know, of course, she's not going to tell her husband, like, oh, I'm so upset because, like, my man died, you know. So it's like, she obviously doesn't know what happened, and he does know what happened. He does know why she's upset. And it's like, wow, like, he knows it, but it's like, he's not gonna tell her that he knows. He's not gonna tell her that he killed him. So it's like, wow, like, that's just crazy. So anyways, yeah, that is it. That is this book. That was the thing. And I'm just so shocked at this book. Like, I was so, whoa, I did not expect that. It was just like, wow. All right, guys, so this is my makeup look that I did today. And also, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the story. It was so crazy. Such a good book. And apparently that is the first book that he has written, and I try to look up more books by him because obviously I fell in love with this book. It was such a good book, and I try to look for other books. He has written 3 other books, but they're a little bit different. It's they're like I want to say like a series, kind of like, but I don't know. But yes, it was such a good book, and I just had to share it with you guys. So yeah, I know it's been a long time. This is a pretty lengthy video, I know, but I just had to tell you guys the story. The story is such a good story. So anyways, that's it. That's all for today, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!